I have a question for all my men out there. What do you do to achieve the goal of getting some pussy? Do you go on a date? Do you do romantic gestures? Do you impress the girl's mom? Do you impress her friend group? Do you impress her father? Do you buy the little brother a gift? Do you make sure the dog doesn't die? What do you do to make sure that at the end of the day, the job is done and you get that sweet, succulent, wet pussy? I asked this question because you read the title of the video, you might be a little bit confused, but I assure you, this was all done within reason so that a psycho bitch could end up with some pussy. Female social worker accused of making sexual advances on over 40 moms removing their children when rejected. A female former Colorado social worker has been accused of making sexual advances toward at least 40 mothers, making false accusations of child abuse and threatening to remove their children from their care when they rejected her. Robin Nasita, terrible name, who's 41, who was a child protective worker in Arapahoe County, allegedly offered parents alcohol and invited them into their home before making sexual advances. According to a $1 million lawsuit filed by Aurora Councilwoman Danielle Jurinsky, great name, Nasita made false allegations of child abuse against her, and now dozens of other alleged victims have stepped forward and joined the suit. Councilwoman Jurinsky filed the lawsuit on behalf of herself and 40 other women who have spoken up about their experiences with the former social worker. Nasita was recently romantically involved with Aurora Police Chief Vanessa Wilson, who was criticized by Jurinsky when she joined the Stefan Tubbs radio show in January to discuss the crime problem in Aurora and police reform. During the interview, the councilwoman notably called Wilson trash, prompting Nasita to falsely claim that Jurinsky sexually abused her son in an anonymous tip on January 8th, and Wilson was later fired in April. So you mean to tell me, in your great idea, you see your lover, your beauty, your girl, your soon-to-be wife, you hope that it leads to having children in the future. You see them getting criticized for a bad job that they might be doing. I don't even know where the fuck Aurora County is. And you think in your mind, after seeing your lover get criticized, it's a wise idea to pick up the phone and say, I have an anonymous tip that this person talking shit about my wife is obviously someone who's abusing their child. What the fuck? Nasita made the call identifying as an employee at one of Jurinsky's 4 restaurants that she owns around Denver. Oh wow, even great. False impersonations. She told police that she had heard Jurinsky ask her son, do you want to see something funny, before performing sexual acts on the child. Police investigated the accusations but were able to close the case on February 14th after deeming Jurinsky innocent. They later identified Nasita as the one who made the tip to Arapahoe County Sheriff's Department. In May, the former social worker quit her job as accusations against her began to pour in. Please take my email as immediate resignation from the Arapahoe County. I appreciate the last 5 years and I wish you both the very best. An arrest warrant was issued for Nasita on May 16th. So you mean to tell me, as you slowly start to realize the heat is coming in and people are starting to piece together that you're a fucking weirdo, and they're starting to understand that you created an anonymous tip where you pretended to be an employee at a random location that this other person owns, and you get them in trouble to the point the police get involved, all because your girlfriend got criticized for doing a shitty job as a police officer. Okay, just wanted to make sure who the psycho bitch is. Jurinsky later said that being falsely accused and going through the investigation was brutal and that she had never even met Nasita. All I can say is this is a parent's worst nightmare, to get a call like I got and to be under an investigation like I was, knowing that it was a complete lie and knowing that it was a retaliation for my opinions. Every other attack that has come my way I can handle on my feet, and I can fire back and I can fight back. You involve my child and it brings me to my knees, and it becomes a different kind of fight. A search warrant of her county provided laptop reportedly showed a history of searches for does the child abuse hotline keep phone numbers in Colorado minutes before Nasita reported Jurinsky. Great job being a spy detective. The former social worker denied the allegations, claiming that she didn't know anything about them. You literally have the fucking proof and the timestamps on your county given computer, and you think it's a good idea to say, nah, I don't know anything about that. And just a little side note for anybody who works for any business that gives you a company device, do not do anything on those things that is not company related. Don't order food, don't look for clothes, don't get on Pornhub. Why? Because they're monitoring that, and they gonna check that every so often. And when they do, you would want to make sure that everything's clean and pristine and you ain't got a bunch of furry shit on your damn computer. Nasita is also accused of attempting to silence other victims, threatening to separate parents from their children, and making more false reports to do so. Elliot Singer, great name, the attorney who prepared Jurinksy's class action lawsuit that has now been joined by dozens more parents, told the Gazette, so far, several parents have come forward to let us know that they also had their children taken away from them as a result of Robin Nasita's actions related to their cases, whether by what they believe to be false testimony during court of what they believe to be false reports. One mother claimed that Nasita told her she had gift cards for her and gave her her personal cell number and asked her to come to her home to pick them up. When the mother arrived, she was offered an alcoholic beverage that she denied. Once this member of the class declined what was clearly sexual advances, Nasita essentially turned on her and did everything in her power to make sure that her child was permanently removed. Nasita will appear in court on August 29th, which by me recording this is tomorrow, Monday, the day this video is going up. So I'm really going to be interested to give a second video updating on this to discuss these allegations against her. Meanwhile, another Colorado family filed a separate lawsuit against Nasita on August 14, accusing her of unfairly separating them from their 14-year-old daughter. An FBI investigation is also ongoing to determine whether Nasita abused her power by filing another false report to be granted custody of a former partner's child. So, not only is this psychopath doing things because their wife gets criticized that could lead to a child being separated from their mother, but they're also trying to take someone else's child, that's a former partner, and bring the child into her own custody, along with trying to sleep with a woman and get her to drink some of that bubbly, and then potentially drugging her. And then they say no, and you decide, yeah, I'm going to try to ruin your life and separate your family. Do you see a pattern here of trying to get some pussy and it's not working out, and somebody's really desperate for it and they can't get it, so they're going to do the most egregious thing possible, ruin somebody's family life, all because they didn't know how to get things done in the bedroom? It is sad, but it's also funny. So I'm gonna be the guy who wishes the absolute worst for this person. I hope you get buried under the jail. Why? It's very simple. You decided to be scum. You decided to not handle things rationally. And oh, by the way, you have power that could ruin people's lives, and you have the background evidence that proves, yeah, you did this shit. So in conclusion, everybody who wants to work for a corporate job, don't be this bitter. And all my men out there, you're desperate for a woman to touch you because your father didn't, because he left you for some milk that he couldn't get. I want you to understand. Listen to me closely. Come to my withering eyes and let me tell you a story. It ain't that deep. Pussy ain't even that desperate to get. All you gotta do is be a man, not this pissant alpha man shit that you get from these podcasts. Subscribe to the channel. I'll see y'all in the next one. Goodbye.